Jason Walker, Walker Tea Review, where we're bringing you the delights of the online tea world. We have a green for you. We're going to go ahead and get it started. This one is from Mighty Leaf. It is Emerald. That was a sad little scoop. Emerald Pearls. Sad little scoop in its size. So I'm going to be quite, quite generous there. Do it the easy way. Sprinkle a few out by hand as well. Okay. Get these rinsed off, ready to go, so that we can talk a little bit more about this green tea, what we can expect from it, where it's from, what kind of taste. A lot of people talk about green teas and say that it's grassy. I try to avoid the word grassy because, let's be real, we don't eat a lot of grass. What we do smell cut grass, but I also find that when you come to really experience a tea, you pull out other notes to it, often stronger notes than grass. So as our palate begins to learn and expand, we find that there are much deeper aromas and tastes than that general kind of catch-all grass word. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this. This is Mighty Leaf's Emerald Pearls. This is an Anhui, or a Chinese tea. It's from Anhui province, the famous mountain tea area of Huangshan. We have 4 ounces for $16.95. Let me look. I'm looking here at the back for what they say, the brewing instructions. They say the green tea has light caffeine, which, depending on the kind of tea, that is accurate. Portioning 1 level tablespoon per 12-ounce cup. A steep time or brewing time of 2 to 3 minutes. And generally you're using warmer water, but below boiling. Oftentimes you hear numbers like 180 to 200 degrees for that. Okay, so we're looking at this tea. We're going to jump now. Go ahead and look at our leaves, because that's worth looking at this point, talking about more things that you're going to see. One, I'm going to hold up what you'll find in this. If you can see it from this angle, you'll see it is 2 leaves together, okay, and connected by a little bit of a young tender stem. We find other, let's look for some. We also have some larger, one single leaf that is kind of rolled or folded over like that. There could be a stem or a smaller leaf enfolded in that larger leaf that you'll see that opens up. But again, there's another 2 leaf connected to a tender stem. And yes, you'll see the color is a kind of a deep olive drab color. I did want to take a moment and talk a little bit about aromas. Again, I would characterize a dry leaf like this aroma, to classify it or characterize it, connect it to something that we are more familiar with in our taste range. I find it's very close to a kind of creamed spinach. It's got a little bit of that sweet element to it. Okay, it's got a little bit of a vegetable element to it, and it's cream spinach, sweet spinach. Those kind of capture what you're getting from there. So let us now talk a little bit about what we're going to get here in our cup. Yeah, that's had some time. Those leaves have opened up. It's fairly light in our color, but we've given this some time to steep. And again, our comments here are based on, as always, this tasting and in previous tastings where we've given it a steep, we've tried it, we've made notes, we've steeped it again, and tried that second cup so that we can get kind of the full range of the full profile. what we see here is, well, let's go ahead and share that with you and show you what we have. Yeah. Got a fairly a light golden color or yellow color. Not too deep because we didn't steep for too very long. Fair clearness, good bright. I don't know, a little bit of a dullness to it, but only slightly, and that's what we would expect from this kind of tea. It's not going to be your bright golden shining example here. Also talk a little bit about smells that I'm getting are something like a kind of cooked green bean, a boiled green bean. So this one is leaning more towards vegetable type aromas and taste to it. Okay, to talk about this tea, it's hard to kind of say where this tea goes in that what is its unique property. This is kind of what I'm finding is kind of the average Joe type of tea that's in China as far as the green tea. Again, this is the kind of tea that it's not going to be way off the scale as far as unique characteristics. It's very familiar. It's green tea. It's kind of the base on which everything else kind of is then put on the scale to say, well, it's got more of this, less of that. So that's what we're getting here. So this kind of tea, you can expect to have moderate level of bitterness, moderate level of astringency. As we said, I talked about some vegetable elements to it, and we're going to talk about some of those. So let's give this one a try. Yeah. Profile is consistent, I should say, throughout the mouth. You are getting a little bit of a kind of a bitter tinge to it. You're getting a little bit of a astringent kind of bite smack there at the end. You want to kind of smack your mouth and moisten it up a little. Elements are of a flavor or aroma or kind of a blending of like a lima bean, green bean to combo there. Not what you'd call sweet, not what you'd call overly bitter or astringent either. So, middle of the road, right down the middle. Okay? This is the kind of tea that newer, less experienced people who are trying teas, usually if they get this one first, they run away from green teas because they think green teas are, for lack of a better term, too green, too that grassy element. But as you come to experience more teas, you find that this, my experience was, this is the base, this is the beginning, so that you can then have the kind of palette, the range of more floral or more green, more vegetal. This one puts you, this is your kind of your measuring rod here. So having said that, we give this an 80. It's safe, it's familiar, it's a stepping stone for looking at other teas and comparing them. Again, this was Mighty Leaf's tea. It was Emerald Pearls. I'm Jason Walker, Walker Tea Review.